I watched The Penguin. My God, what a great show. From the opening scene that plays out very tense moments. It has a little bit of Sopranos. It takes whatever you thought of the Batman, and I have a lot of problems with that movie. This show is a first episode. Really impressed. Colin Farrell knocked it out of the park. It's consistent with the Batman in terms of, it takes place days after, a week after or so. And wow,
it's supposed to lead right into the second movie, which is why I have faith it won't fall off, because it's going somewhere.
We don't know. I got a clip to play, but I was really impressed. For those who have seen it, who's seen it? I saw it. Please chime in with your thoughts on The Penguin. I want to hear what you thought.
I'll tell you, I was blown away by it. I actually watched it with my son, and I said to him right after, I'm like, you recognize like when you watch something that's really amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just on every level, this show delivered. And I'm much more of a Marvel guy. I've always been more of a Marvel guy, but I've always like respected like The Dark Knight as being like one of the top tier superhero movies. But yeah, watching The Penguin last night, just on I kept on like turning to him and saying like, wow, like the dialogue, the characterization, like everything about this first episode, I was hooked. Yeah. I was absolutely hooked. I was so impressed by this.
Yeah, Sophia Falcone, the actress, I'm not sure what her name is, but man, she absolutely is so disturbing, man. Her character and the way she's playing that character, she crushed it in this role. Colin Farrell obviously completely disappears into the character of the Penguin. You would never know that was Colin Farrell playing that guy unless somebody told you that was Colin Farrell, because you don't see any piece of Colin Farrell in that. I think he's doing a great job. I even like the young man, and I can't remember his name, but the guy that's playing
Vic Aguilar is the character. Yeah, I love him.
I love that guy, man. Yeah. And to me, like those three characters, I am all in to find out how this thing finalizes. But I mean, you see this, the show starts off with the Penguin doing something like absolutely insane and crazy, and then he encounters Sophia Falcone, and it's like, who's going to out crazy the crazy here? Because that chick is on a different level, man. She is insane. And then even the scene with his mother, like there's so many juicy scenes with this show. I've watched it like a couple of times, as opposed to Agatha, which I've seen once and probably will never watch again. But I've watched this one episode a couple of times just to soak it in, because the acting, the writing, the directing, the mood, the tone, everything I love, and you don't need to really, if you don't even like the Batman, if you didn't like the Batman, I don't think this will, I don't think this will be ruined. If you watch this, I think you can watch this without liking the Batman and absolutely enjoy this for what it is, because I dug it, man. I thought this was great. This is how you do a franchise, folks. If you want to take over a franchise and borrow from Star Wars, from Star Trek to Marvel, whatever, and you want to deliver the goods, this is how you do it, So yeah, I loved it, man. I thought it was amazing.
Same. Anyone else?
Did you? I do, but it seemed like Rob wanted to.
I totally second everybody's that opening scene when he goes into the office, then confronts Falcone's son, the kid from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I love that opening scene. I was just gonna taste the show just because I had to leave, and I ended up sitting down and being late for where I was going because I wanted to watch the whole thing. It was so good.
Now I mine the internet for clips or things to show, whatever. And I gotta say, there's every franchise now does their own official podcast. Marvel has one, The Penguin. Basically, when I see stuff like this, I feel like they're moving in on my territory. My territory podcast. You moving in? You moving in on this? You making a move? But HBO has a podcast, official podcast for The Penguin. I listened to the first episode. Matt Reeves is on the show. He says something very interesting. I just want to play. It's like about 30 seconds, but let's give it a listen, Alan, if you would.
And said that the whole first episode would be this kid who chose the exact wrong moment and time and place to be, which is to steal this guy's hubcaps. This is the wrong moment for you to be doing this with these guys. And that puts him where, by all rights, by the end of the episode, he should be dead. And that this creates this unlikely relationship between the two of them, like that we fell in love with. And then it was like, oh, wait, we're now going to see this relationship with Francis. This is really the key to who he is. He has this mother who has Lewy body dementia, and she is this incredible figure. And then the other idea was that we would meet Sophia Falcone, and that she was known as the Hangman, and she has a relationship with Oz that we don't yet understand, but is the key to everything.
Can I just say real quick?
She's the woman that's the key to everything.
The stealing of the hubcaps is just like Batman catching Jason Todd, the second Robin stealing the hubcaps of the Batmobile.
I thought that was cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, I've fallen in love with so many shows from the first episode or two, and it doesn't stick the landing. Will the Penguin, and I care about these characters. I'll be back for, I think it's Thursday. I'll be watching. Is it gonna stick the landing?
I think it will. I loved the show from the first scene when he did what he did, and I went, hell yeah! I was like, I got what kind of scene we were gonna get. He's already. I love the Batman too, by the way, so we can have conversations. So I'm already went in wanting to like it, but afraid that would get a modern, you know what they get. Instead, layers upon layers. They didn't make his father an evil patriarchy, and that's the reason he does what he does. I'm fine with the mother. I already clipped her out. You a little pussy boy. That's clip that gets played all the time on my streams. The reason I have faith is because Matt has said that the TV shows will be used to flesh out other characters that can't get full movies, and that this is all leading, including the time jumps, directly into that second movie. And this is how the Penguin, you know, the lackey for Falcone, becomes the Penguin. And I can't wait.
This is what Marvel should have been doing with.
Yes, and also Sophia Falcone. Sophia Falcone in the comics is a very big, butchy, ugly woman, and the fact that they made her a smaller, beautiful, but crazy with the eyes. Yeah, Melody is doing a great job in that role. So I have faith. I do have faith.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I really liked was also the use of the ring. I won't go. I don't know. There's
great plot device.
Great. It was so. I was like, oh God, what are you doing like that? And like, oh, this is, and then ultimately what we understand his motivation for grabbing the ring was it
felt like smart people did it, and they expected us to be smart. And so there was a couple layers. The conversation at dinner is back and forth. Ooh, he had it until he said that, and then she saw it's that you have to be smart to write that, and you just don't see smart writing.
It's such a contrast between Agatha, which seems like amateur hour, and then you see the Penguin, which is like HBO knows how to make television. You care from the opening scene to the closing, to even these moments where when Penguin, you actually see his foot, the one where he's limping, and you actually see how deformed.
He apparently had a prosthetic Mr. Pinky, Mr. Penguin for the naked scene. It was detachable. Right.
That was amazing. I mean, Colin Farrell, you're right. You don't. Where is he in that makeup? You can't picture him where he is. It's such a contrast between amateur and cheap and dumb and lowest common denominator to compelling TV where I don't feel like I've wasted my time. I'm all in on Penguin for the whole series. Even if it, doesn't quite stick the landing, I'm already there. So,
the scene that really, was so great was when they're in that junkyard scene, and when they're putting the body in the back, and he says to the kid, like he's saying, turn around, look at the sunset, that's that scene. But when he's explaining to her, it's like, look, the play here is just to kill, it's obviously
it was great.
It's such a great, the trajectory of that scene is so.
But also, what a sunset or a sunrise means? Because it was a sunrise. No Batman. No Batman. You made it. That was the whole thing. It was like, what? It was he made it without getting caught by the bat. It's layers upon layers upon layers to that if you nerd out. Yeah.
I wonder if will we see the Batman in this?
They said
we have an episode with Batman.
He said no, but he also never said no Bruce Wayne. He think he might try to get sneaky, because we did hear Robert Pattinson was on set, even if that was just visiting. But for the futures, he said, we might see Batman and Bruce if they could do it right. But
Well, I'm all in.
Look, I don't need to see him, to be honest with you. I'm
Exactly.
loving.
I didn't
I'm
need
loving
it.
everything
Yeah.
we're getting
Story.
right
You don't need
here. And those two characters, Vic Aguilar and Oz Cobb, I guess that's what they're calling him,
Yeah.
Oz Cobb or the Penguin. Every moment that they're together on screen, I am just like entranced by the conversations. And then
Yes.
they all pay off. They had that conversation about the slushies, and then they pay it off at the end of the show
Yep.
with the two guys just
Suicide.
sitting there drinking the slush. I said,
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Oh,
I
such a great
love that,
bonding
man.
moment.
That is the
Yeah.
kind of stuff that we need to get from all of these guys. I hope they're paying attention. I'm never going to stop praising this thing because I'm hoping on the other end of the Penguin, we get more shows like the Penguin because we
Yeah.
deserve them as fans.
Didn't you guys used to do that, by the way? Mix the sodas?
Yes,
You call
of
it
course we
Suicide? So it
did,
was like,
man.
oh man,
It
I'm
doesn't
again.
do
This is-
that.
That's why it was so
Yes.
good. It was like, oh, a real person wrote this with an actual life experience, not some sort of
Right,
weird.
right.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.